guys, so I was recently tagged in the Shakespeare Book Tag, which is an original tag by Wilde Book Garden, and I am so excited and I'm so honored that I was tagged in this because I love Shakespeare, and I am just really excited to get into all of these questions that I have written down on this sheet of paper. Okay, so the first question is, Much Ado About Nothing, your favorite bickering couple whom everyone knows really cares about each other. So for this one, I chose Matthias and Nina from Six of Crows because if you've read this book, then you kind of know they start off as very bickering, and even like throughout the series, they kind of just bicker a lot, and so you know that they love each other. I love them as a ship. I know a lot of people don't like them as a ship, but I kind of do, so that might be an unpopular opinion, but I love Nina and Matthias, and they definitely are that bickering couple, but you know deep down that they love each other and they care about each other, and that they would literally jump in front of any bullet, anything, just to save them, so definitely Nina and Matthias. The second question is Measure for Measure, a book whose plot or genre is really hard to explain to other people. So for that one, I chose Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and this is a book that whenever I tell someone that it's one of my favorite books of all time, they ask me the question, what is it about? And I have the hardest time giving them an answer because it is so hard to try to explain what exactly this book is about. It is so complicated, and there's so many different like plot lines and things that intersect and then weave away, and then it's so hard to explain. I always just am like, okay, so I mean, there is this guy and he's always been in love with this other girl, but she marries someone else and he kind of goes off and does his own thing, but all this time he's pining over this girl. So finally when the girl's husband dies and they're really old, they get together, you know, and that's not even like all of it, like it's just like I have to try to simplify this book as much as possible just for it to be understandable, and people will only stand there and listen to you talk about your favorite book for about 5 seconds. So if you can't like explain what the book is about in 5 seconds, they don't care anymore. So I kind of, it's hard. I'm just like, yeah, I love this book, it's great. That's all I can really say. Question 3 is A Midsummer Night's Dream, your favorite book featuring fairies or elves. So for this book, I obviously chose Cloaked in Shadow by Ben Alderson. This book in particular includes elves, and I love this book so much. You've heard me rave about it so many times. It's so amazing. There's such a good men-loving men representation. I just love the magic system and how it's really based on elemental magic. I feel like, you know, we don't really get a lot of elemental magic, or at least I haven't read that much elemental magic. I probably need to read more fantasy, let's just be real. But I love this book so much, and I'm super excited about the second book that's coming out, so let's just, yeah, I just love this book. Number 4 is Hamlet, an underutilized female character. So for this one, I am choosing from Shakespeare's canon, and that is Richard III, and I feel like every single female character in this play is so underutilized. Like, yes, they have some really great quotes, they have some really great scenes, however, they were so much more interesting than Richard himself. I would have loved to see more about all of the women in this play and like all of their like just antics, and like they were so passionate and like always throwing around these curses, and like they were just awesome. Like, I just love the women in Richard III. I think they're fantastic. I thought they were hilarious. They had some of the most witty, intelligent lines that I would have never thought of in my life to say, but they're just, you just kind of want to go like, yes girl, like yes, get him, get him. They like roast Richard so much, and I love them. I love them so much, and they're just so underappreciated, underutilized. They're awesome. Number 5 is the Sonnets. Choose your favorite poem. So for this one, I chose Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas, and I absolutely love that poem. I don't have a copy of it, so I can't really show you it, but I will leave it linked down below. I actually saw it for the first time in the book Matched by Ali Condi, and ever since then it has been my favorite poem of all time. I love it. It's amazing. Go read it. It is so good. Like, you will not be disappointed if you've never seen it before, which is like, how? But I mean, just go read it. Go read it. Circling back to Richard III, a protagonist willing to do anything to get what they want. So for this question, I obviously chose And I Darken by Kiersten White. Lotta is the main character, and she is literally willing to do absolutely anything to get what she wants. She is the most badass character I have ever read about, ever. Like, she beats everyone else. Like, everyone can go home. Lotta is the biggest badass ever, and she will literally do whatever it takes to get back to Wallachia and to get her crown and to be the prince, and she's amazing. Like, I respect her, I fear her, I look up to her, I want to be her. So Lotta is obviously the answer to this question. I will not accept any other character for this question. Number 7 is Antony and Cleopatra. Your favorite trope, bookish buzzword, historical figure, etc., for which you still haven't found that perfect book. And for me, that is definitely going to be a book about the Romanovs. Like, I have been looking for a good fictional book about the Romanovs forever. I did read Tsarina, and I did enjoy it, and I loved it. I cried, but it still wasn't really the book about the Romanovs that I wanted. I wanted it to be about the Romanovs, obviously. But I am an absolute huge fan of Russian history. I took a Russian history class about 2 semesters ago, and I absolutely loved it. I had such a good time. I love learning anything about Imperial Russia, especially during that point of history where we're definitely on the brink of revolution. And I absolutely love learning anything about the Romanovs, so I would definitely love to find that perfect Romanov book. It would just be a dream. It'd be a dream of mine. Number 8 is Titus Andronicus, a lesser known work by a popular author, one which you want more people to read. For me, that would be Fairies by Gail Carson Levine. This is definitely a popular book, and Gail Carson Levine is definitely a popular author, but this book is definitely not more popular than Ella Enchanted. Not enough people have read this book. I want everyone to read this book. It has a fat protagonist. It is based off of fairy tales. It has the most amazing fantasy world building that I've ever seen. It goes so deep. It's so intricate and believable, and I absolutely love everything that Gail Carson Levine has ever written, and she is amazing and definitely an inspiration for my own writing, and I love this book in particular. It's probably my favorite one. Number 9 is King Lear, a complex female villain or anti-hero. And so for this one, it's definitely going to be a spoiler, so I'm going to try to keep it really vague, but if you definitely don't want any spoilers about any of Carrie Maniscalco's books, I recommend that you know, go ahead. But basically, Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco, that book has an amazing female villain. Blows my mind. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Just blows my mind. That entire series, oh my gosh. Like, the first book, I kind of already knew who the killer was going to be about, I want to say halfway through the book, and that doesn't bother me at all. I'm not the type of person that cares if I know who the villain is. But in the second book, I had no idea the entire time. Like, I could not figure it out, and every single time I'd be like, okay, it's this person. No. Oh, it's this person. No. Oh, it's this person. No. And then I just kind of gave up. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on in this book. I cannot figure it out for the life of me, so I'm just gonna read it and enjoy it and, like, be completely surprised. But yeah, definitely Hunting Prince Dracula is the, like, most amazing female villain I've ever read. She's just, wow, like, huge surprise. Okay, so the very last question is The Taming of the Shrew. Choose 2 polarizing books, one you loved and one you hated. So starting off with the book that I hated, that would be A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I did not like this book. It was a huge disappointment. I just, there are so many issues I have with this book. One being, how does anyone like Rhysand? Can we just talk about that for a second? How How? Like, okay, so people like won't forgive Tamlin, but people can forgive Rhysand for what he did in this book. Like, I don't care what explanation Sarah J Maas gives us in the next book. I honestly don't care. He's awful. He's the worst. I just don't, it bothers me at night. Like, I will stay awake at night trying to figure out how people like Rhysand. I don't understand. I'm sorry. If you like him, I'm so sorry. I don't get it. I have no idea. I just don't understand. And then for one of the books that I absolutely love, that would be The Heir by Kiera Cass. And this is a book that hardly anyone likes. It's not a popular book by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of people don't like the main character. However, I love Edelyn. I love her. I can relate to her. I think she's awesome. She's kind of a bitch, a brat, but she's awesome. You know, I think a lot of people don't actually like unlikable female characters. I think people say that they like unlikable female characters, but in practice it's not really true. So, but hey, I actually really do like unlikable female characters. They're some of my faves. So the last part of this tag is give me your hands if we be friends, tag some people. So I'm going to leave some YouTubers down below, but if I don't actually name you down below, you can totally do this tag. I tag everyone. Do the tag, it's super fun. And yeah, I absolutely love this tag. I love Shakespeare, so I was really excited to get to do this. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!